Thank you again, as always, for joining us this morning. Coach, before we get to questions, could you get us started with your thoughts on last week's game against Akron?
Well, we had a tremendous atmosphere here. I think we had the third largest crowd in school history, and almost 28,000 fans that were here, and military appreciation. We had a flyover, and we were very fortunate to win the game. You know, our guys found a way to win it. We went on a 97-yard touchdown drive with less than 3 minutes to go to win the game, and we did not play very well in any phase, honestly. We in second half particularly we did not play very well, but it's a learning game. It's better to learn from a win than a loss. So it's hard to win, and so we were excited to get the win, but we know we've got a lot of work to do to get to where we want to be.
Coach, the upcoming opponent is LSU this week. Your thoughts on LSU as you head into this week's game?
Well, they're, defensively is what jumps out to you. They run really physical up front, from a D-line linebacker's perspective. They're young in the secondary, but they're young and talented, and they have one of the best defense coordinators in the country, and it's going to be a challenge, to say the least. And going down and playing one of the best atmospheres in college football. Offensively, they cause a lot of problems with their motions and their shifts, and I think the quarterback is beginning to find his stride, and they've got a couple playmakers at receiver. The guy's kid at running back is probably as good as anybody in the country. So we understand. We've been down there before. We'll have our hands full, and it's a challenge for sure. But our guys are looking forward to it. It's the next game. They're really good, but I'm more concerned about getting our guys playing the way we need to play. We're 3-1, and we like where we're at. Had an opportunity to be 4-0 at this point, but laid an egg at Boise, so we're 3-1. But we still aren't playing anywhere close to our potential.
Coach, what did you see from your defense on Saturday, in the turnover department especially, namely with Chris Weatherspoon forcing 2 interceptions?
Well, Chris is his second game back. He missed first game and a half with an injury, and he's really put in a lot of time and effort on his hands. He's not a natural ball catcher, so for him to have 2 picks in the game is remarkable. He's come a long way in a 2-year time. And we got 3 takeaways on defense on Saturday, which is what we want to do. It's what we spend a lot of time on. We'd gone 2 games without turnover. Now we got to, on offense, we got to start turning those takeaways into points, which we scored 0 points off turnovers in the game on Saturday. Defensively, I thought we were really good early in the game. Controlled the line of scrimmage, and then as the game got into the second half, we just did a poor job getting off the field. We allowed them to convert way too many third downs, especially third and distances longer than 7 yards. I think they had 4 conversions, which should never happen. And then they've got a big running back, Akron does, that transferred from Ohio State, and he pounded on us a little bit in the second half. So we've got to shore up some things. We can play a lot better than what we did on Saturday.
Coach, offensively, what do you take from Saturday's game into this upcoming game against LSU?
Well, I mean, it's the last 3 weeks we've moved the ball up and down the field. We're not scoring points for whatever reason. Most of them are self-inflicted wounds, whether it's turnovers, whether it's penalties. On Saturday, I've never seen a game like that. I mean, there's 28 penalties in the game. 30-something called, 28 accepted penalties, which is ridiculous in a football game. And we had 16 of them, and several of those were legitimate fouls that we've got to get cleaned up. And but we were a lot of self-inflicted wounds offensively. I think we've got a chance to be a really good offensive football team. At times we've shown that this season. But we've got to score more points. That's the number one job of an offense. Yardage really doesn't matter. You got to score points, and we've got to do a better job scoring touchdowns in the red zone and not killing ourselves with turnovers and penalties.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time this morning. We appreciate it as always.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. And again, that was head coach Neal Brown of Troy. Troy's coming off of a 22-17 win against Akron this past Saturday and travels to Baton Rouge to take on LSU this upcoming Saturday. Game will kick off at 6 p.m. Central Time and will be aired on ESPNU.